Hello, all the King's men. Welcome to another Friday assessment. Yes. Let's get excited. Why? Because you have made it across another day. You have made it across another week. And you have pressed and said, you know what? I am better than I was yesterday. I'm better. I'm going to be better than I am today. Yes. Saying, you know what? There is greatness that's waiting on me. That's why the Friday assessment is so important. Why? Because there is greatness on the inside of you. I don't care what's happened. I don't care what's happening today. I don't care what nobody else has said. But what I want to challenge you on today is, do you believe? Do you believe? You got to put it in your mind, in your spirit, man, that said, you know what? I believe. Why? Why is that so important? Because everybody else around you can say what they see. They can say what they believe. But you know what? If you don't believe, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I already told you that you cannot receive above what you believe. So what I'm reminded of the man, the father, whose son in Matthew over there, chapter 9, his son was vexed. He was possessed by this demon, this demonic spirit that often tore him, that put him in the fire, the water, that often tore him, and made him scratch himself, tear his skin. And what happened? Jesus said, how long? And he told him, since a child, he said, look, all things are possible if you believe. That is a very interesting statement. That is a very interesting truth, because you got to remember, everything that Jesus says is true. Everything that God says is true. It's not based upon facts, but what he said, all things are possible if you believe. So what is it that you desire? I'm not going to say believe for, but what is it that you desire? What is it that you believe, that you wrote down the vision, that you made it plain and said it's going to happen? But you got to ask yourself, remember, this is the Friday assessment. You got to be real with yourself, transparent with yourself. You can't be transparent with nobody else. Be transparent with yourself. Yes, because when you get to looking in that mirror, you know what? You start looking straight through yourself. You be like, self, you're not even being real with yourself. If you can't be real with nobody else, be real with yourself. Get in there, lock that room. You can make sure it is noise proof, that you can't hear in and you cannot hear out. You got to say, self, do I believe all things are possible with God? Do I believe? You got to ask yourself, do I believe? That's that Friday assessment that we want to deal with. We got to deal with ourselves. Why? Because we are the one that affect everything around us. Yes. You got to surround yourself by the right people, but the people can be right, but you can be wrong. Why? Because they can be believing, but you not believing. They believing, they seeing, they saying, look, it's not yet manifested, but I believe if we keep working together that is going to manifest. Do you realize that the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost was in agreement? They were in agreement. They were in agreement even when they made you. Why? Why would I say that? Because God said, let us make man in our image. And what happened? Man was made in the image of the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. That meant that God wasn't being selfish. He said, look, it's us that we want to make man in our image, because we need that representative in the earth legally, so we can go legally in this earth realm. Oh my God. So I thank God for belief. Look. And then the Father said, this is what we got to be transparent. The Father said, look, I believe, but help my unbelief. Help my unbelief. This man said, look, Jesus, you said all things are possible in Mark 9:23. If thou canst believe, all things are possible to him that believeth. This man cried out, and he said with tears in verse 24, Lord, I believe, but help mine thou unbelief. That's why I'm challenging you today. The areas that you're not having success in today, do you believe? The areas that you are having success in, is it because you believed in those areas? Why did you believe in those areas? Do you realize there are some areas that God wants to stretch your faith, and you got to say, God, I believe. Even though you don't see, you don't know how. Only thing you see is in the spirit realm that the thing has happened. God has showed you the end. He's given it to you. And you know what? God, remember that God always show you the end. Then he takes you back to the beginning. And then what happens? You got to believe every step of the way. You got to believe God every step of the way. Even in my own entrepreneurial journey, my business, I got to say, I believe. I got to see beyond the going through. I got to see beyond the beginning. I got to see the end. I saw the end, but I had to go back to the beginning. And I'm like, man, this is a 20, 40-year journey. But I got to believe no matter how long it takes, I have to stay in belief. Why? Because doubt is going to creep in when it gets hard, when things get slim, when things get challenging. The enemy is going to come in and say, is it really going to happen? Or why don't you just go ahead and give up? That's what the enemy wants you to do. The enemy wants you to give up. He wants you to give in now, saying it ain't going to happen. Why go ahead and put yourself through all this stuff? You got to say, I believe. You got to say, God, you said all things are possible to him who believes. You got to say, God, just like the Father cried out for his son when you told him to believe. He said, Lord, I believe, but help thou mine unbelief. Make it your declaration today. Make it your declaration today. Said, you know what? I believe. There is no turning back. There are no other options. I believe. All the King's men, I thank you for joining in today. Oh my God, I pray that you was blessed by that. I pray that you was encouraged by that today. That I believe. Over there in Mark 9, 23 and 24. I believe. Because once the man said, I believe, Jesus was able to cast that demon out. And it was done at that moment. You got to say, I believe. Watch what happened. Watch that thing lift up on you. And watch you get the strength to press on beyond where you thought you could go. So all the King's men, thank you once again. I pray that you have a blessed day, blessed weekend, and a blessed week to come. Till next time, be blessed.